I'm hesitant to make the analogy. It's like the end of a war. I mean, people need to let off a bit of steam. I think we can look at this from a variety of perspectives. Is that the right cutoff place from an epidemiological perspective? And I think I could argue with that. I would myself be a bit more conservative about it. On the other hand, all the actions that we've taken to control this disease have imposed restrictions and economic hardships broadly on society. And I think there's some sort of balance that's being taken place there. And obviously, there are probably some political considerations as well that have gone into it. From a public health perspective, I would have waited a little bit longer and I would have made sure that case levels were a bit lower and a bit more under control. I do have my own magic number, and I'll tell it to you. My magic number is I would prefer us to wait until we hit 500 cases per day nationwide. When we hit that level, that's the level that South Korea was at last summer. And at that level, I think you can hold things in check. And with vaccinations, it puts you in a great place to even drive it further down potentially. I think that level is the level at which we could manage this well. It means that there are many communities in the United States where the virus isn't even present, which is a great place to be. When you have instances where some populations are less well vaccinated than others, there is this concern that they may be able to support the virus better than areas that are fully vaccinated. And by supporting it, the thing that happens with the virus, in order for these new variants to arise, the virus has to move from person to person. It's in that process that it picks up the mutations that develop these advantages that allow it to then break through the protection induced by vaccines. So if we're going to really go at mass vaccination, we would like to see as many people vaccinated throughout the entire world as possible. So we don't have these reservoirs, these areas where the virus can mutate and change and new variants may arise more efficiently. What does the post-pandemic world look like? I don't think we really realistically expect this virus is simply going to go away. It's going to be something that's part of our existence going forward for the foreseeable future. The question is, what is that level of disruption that it causes? Is it something that's going to continue to cause a case fatality rate, an infection fatality rate higher than the seasonal flu, which is going to be disruptive? Is it going to be something that people are going to be subject to repeated infections and breakthrough infections in spite of vaccination over and over again over the course of their lifetime? These are questions we don't quite know the answer to. So it's very difficult to say. What I would like to see is I would like to see that we have vaccines that are very effective and that people are only intermittently reinfected with this when a new variant comes along, and that those infections tend to be much milder because even though they've had this breakthrough infection, it's much less likely to cause severe or critical illness.